Oh, our speaker today is somebody who we know well and know that she has a special message to give to us. And because we've seen her up here performing and singing, and this is the first time that she's going to offer her own story and her own perspective on that story. And so Sheila has been a part of New Thought for many, many years. Before she was in this area in a couple of different New Thought churches and held different positions. But for now, all we care about is that she's one of us, and she's going to share her wisdom with us.
Yes, a little different role than what I'm accustomed to. Hopefully this won't wobble too much. It has a mind of its own. But thank you for trusting me and allowing me the opportunity to be your guest speaker today. It's a privilege to be among so many like-minded souls. I'm excited to share some insights with you that has made a difference in my life. But I also wanted to say, when I read the Daily Word this morning, I think it was written for me. Pretty sure about that. And Amanda did reach out to me. She did such a wonderful job that she pretty much gave you my talk. So I'm going to sit down. But nevertheless, if I could have the first slide, Joe. How many of you have been outside at night where there's no street lights around? Anybody besides me? Yeah. Okay. In San Diego, I often went camping in the desert, and my absolute favorite thing to do was sit out in awe of the night sky. There's so many more stars than you can ever see when you're in the city. Whew. But did you know that we are made from stardust? Humans are made of elements that were forged in the cores of stars, then scattered into space through time, incorporated into planets like Earth, where life could evolve. So when we look up at the sky and we see all those stars, we're looking at remnants of stars that are, in a way, still a part of us. We are, in a sense, embodied stardust. Our essence is an echo of the stars that came before us. Every cell in your body, every breath you breathe, every thought that arises contains fragments of the cosmos. So when you wish upon a star, you're truly talking to your unique self. And if I could have the next slide now. When the Artemis was up in space recently, it sent back some fabulous photos of both the moon and the Earth. All the astronauts were humbled, blessed, and in awe of how small we are in the grand scheme of things. One of them commented that he realized all of us here on Earth are just like the crew in the spaceship, that we are the crew responsible for taking care of each other and taking care of our planet. When you acknowledge and truly accept the truth of who you are, then you can begin to manifest what you truly want in life. We have all heard phrases such as, what you think about, you bring about, where your attention goes, your energy flows. But how do you take those beliefs and turn them into concrete action that actually shows up in your life? Well, I'd like to share something that I learned. My parents divorced when I was 2. My dad remarried right away, left my mom with 4 small children, 9, 7, and my twin sister and myself. We had a pretty nice home in a nice neighborhood, but we were very poor. My mother was on welfare, our yard was very unkempt, our clothes were often tattered or had maybe little rips or holes. But on our couch, it was so worn that we had an old bedspread covering it. As the years went by, I was much more aware of how how tough life was and seemingly unfair in a way. My sister and I were often ridiculed and made fun of by our neighbor kids. But the few things that were not missing was a lot of love, a lot of humor, and my mother was a devout Methodist, and she made sure that she packed all four of us into the car every Sunday and drove us the 30 minutes drive to her Methodist church. We attended Sunday school the first service because she sang in the choir. So we went to Sunday school, and then the next service, we were sitting in the pews. She was up singing in the choir, and then she'd come and join us. So I became very familiar with God and Jesus because I attended there. I actually wound up getting married there when I was 19, so for like 20 years, long time. So when I was in the 6th grade one day, walking home from school, I made a pact with God. I remember the pink jumper I was wearing, the little black horse pin I had on, the clouds in the sky, because it was such an impactful moment for me. I said, God, I promise that I will always try and be the best version of myself, that I will be good and I will help others. In return, I want you to promise me that I will not be poor when I grow up. A rather bold ask, wouldn't you say? And guess what? When I grew up, I had prosperity. But let me explain to you why this worked. Because I knew without a single doubt that God was real, that he existed. I'd gotten to know him really well at church. Now, granted, at 12 years old, I might have thought he had the white beard up in the sky. I do know that. But he had answered my prayers before. I knew he was real. So once I made my pact with God, I did not check back in, hey, how's it going? How are our plans working out? I didn't question, did I use the right words? I never doubted that it would not work. I just started taking small steps in the direction I knew I wanted to go. And I had faith that the doors would open and things would work out for me. What my young 12-year-old self did not know was what Dr. John Wheeler discovered. He was one of Einstein's students a few years back. He said that the universe waits for you to make a move. It is not a fixed thing. Your observation, your attention, your consciousness plays a role in shaping what becomes real. Decades later, physics caught up. Quantum experiments proved that particles behave differently only when being observed. Consciousness changes outcomes. Change what you observe, and you change what becomes possible. Just as Amanda shared this morning, if you focus on negative things in your life, guess what? More negative shows up. But if you focus on gratitude and things going well, you will find more of that. So the real question is not, what do you want? It's, what signal are you sending? What signal are you sending right now? Your nervous system responds to the inner dialogue the same way it responds to external voices. Thought becomes signal, repetition becomes identity. You shape the universe as much as it shapes you. I have to admit, I love the fact that I'm speaking on the third Sunday of the month because my talk ties right into the third principle. We are co-creators with God, creating reality through our thoughts that we hold in mind. Okay, now here's maybe a controversial thought. You don't get what you pray for. You get what you believe. Let me repeat that. You don't get what you pray for. You get what you believe. For me, I fully believe in the power of prayer. But what I also believe is when I pray, I need to feel in my core that my prayers are being heard, that Spirit is responding, that the best and highest good is unfolding. When you combine prayer with belief, guess what? You have the magic combination. Prayer with belief. Every thought you think is a prayer. Every belief is a seed. If you're planting seeds of doubt, resentment, unworthiness, do not be surprised when your garden reflects that. But if you tend your mind with gentleness, choose forgiveness over judgment, gratitude over complaint, then you prepare the soil for miracles. Your mind does not know the difference between thoughts or reality. So be careful what you practice in your mind every day. Remember, your inner dialogue shapes your external results. You do not manifest from your ego. You manifest from your essence. The ego grasps, it demands, fears. It says, oh, I must have this, or I'm not enough. But the soul knows already that you are enough. And from that knowing, it creates, not out of lack, but out of love. So ask yourself, what am I aligned with? Fear or love? For whatever you align with becomes the blueprint of what you invite into form. And let me add, your brain performs better when it believes the future version of yourself is possible. The brain reacts to what it feels. The more often you visualize the version of yourself that you want, the more that identity becomes real to your subconscious mind. Confidence starts feeling normal. Success stops feeling foreign. Think and act today like you expect abundance. Ask, what would the successful version of myself look like? Behave in that way. Expectation directs outcomes. Assume that things will work in your favor. I had been actually thinking for a while that I would like the opportunity to get up in front of you and give a talk. But I was a little bit scared to ask Reverend Brian. And then a few months back, he said, Sheila, I think you might have a talk or two inside of you wanting to come out. And I said, I believe I do. I never once doubted that I would fail or not be able to share what I felt was important information for all of you. Once I said, yes, please, I started feeding my subconscious statements such as, I'm confident, capable, I'm a good speaker. I believed in those truths. I held steadfast to them. You all will be the judge if I've succeeded. I also follow a guy named Mike Dooley. Some of you might have heard from him. He sends out daily notes from the universe, and he has little videos and classes and such. Anyway, years ago, I went to an all-day training by him on manifesting what you want in your life. And he shared a lot of what I'm sharing with you today. But the one thing he added was, once you decide what you want, the direction you're going, get out of the way of the cursed hows. Don't nitpick or analyze all the reasons why it can't happen. And don't be so specific. I have to have that red little convertible. Don't be so specific in what you want that you miss all of the other opportunities the universe is opening up for you. The secret is surrender. Not giving up, giving over. Releasing that tight grip of how and when, and trusting that your divine essence will see you through. So one more personal story before I close. When I was in my 60s, I was attending a Science of Mind church down in San Diego, and I took a class offered by Mary Morrissey that had workshops and videos and things like that. So one of the exercises was to pretend that you're meeting a friend that you haven't seen in over a year, and you share with them all the wonderful things that have happened in your life and how great life is now and why. So, and then you share it with a partner. So at this time when I wrote this, I was 61, working full-time, living in Alpine, California, planning on retiring at 65, and both my daughters were living in San Luis. Here's what I wrote and shared. I want to share it. I am so happy and grateful now that I am living the life of my dreams. Retired from my full-time job means I am able to be active in so many wonderful events and activities in my community and with my children. I love living so much closer to them, volunteering in my grandson's classes at school, reading to the kids. I'm so grateful for my home that is perfect for me and has lots of connections to nature. My health is amazing. I'm able to play tennis, ride my bike, swim, play with my children and grandchildren, as well as walking long distances. This is fabulous since I'm also enjoying traveling to places that are on my bucket list, meeting new friends along the way. I have financial freedom and abundance enough to not only meet my needs, but help out others and causes I believe in. I have a spiritual community, yes I do, that feeds my soul, that I love and helps me expand my ever-evolving consciousness. My relationships are rich and fulfilling, and my heart, hey, the universe listens, what can I say? And my heart overflows with how wonderful my life is. Wow. I think I achieved the vision I wrote for myself. I loved what I wrote so much that I took it to heart. I was able to retire 2 years earlier than I planned. I moved up to San Luis Obispo in March of 2017, and the rest, as they say, is history. If you have persistence and sustained belief and stay mentally committed to your vision, you can manifest it into reality. Focus. Your attention does go where your energy flows. Spend 5 minutes visualizing your desired outcome a few times a day. Create a vision board if you wish. Write a vision statement such as I did. Ownership creates power. Take responsibility for your actions. Ask, what is one thing I can change today? Identify, act from the mindset of your future self. Spend time daily with what you are trying to manifest. Become open, become willing, become aligned with love. And most of all, remember, when you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. Anything your heart desires may come to you. If your heart is in your dreams, no request is too extreme. When you wish upon a star, your dreams come true. Namaste.